Unraveling the film's threads, Dramagico helps you see beyond the screen. Hello, global film explorers. Welcome again to Dramagico. I'm your host, Drami. Today we delve into a gritty, ghost-filled corner of Hong Kong cinema. Nick Cheung's 2015 directorial venture, Keeper of Darkness. Inside a luxurious apartment in bustling Hong Kong, a mobile phone camera captures a casually dressed, tattooed man with white hair. He's our protagonist, the exorcist Kai. He's currently facing off against a bizarre woman before him. You can see she's unnaturally pale. Her behavior's strange and childlike, clearly possessed by a spirit. Kai addresses the entity within, asking why it's tormenting this woman. The ghost inside the woman replies simply, because she looks like its mother. After just a few words, suddenly all the chairs in the room stack themselves onto the table. A truly eerie sight. It seems the spirit wants to intimidate Kai, give him a little warning. But Kai isn't easily frightened. He steps forward and pinches a pressure point on the woman's face. The small ghost possessing her retorts, threatening to tell its father to burn Kai alive. But this man, accustomed to navigating the shadowy lines between worlds, isn't easily scared off. He first chugs some cola, then uses the painful method of smashing his own fingers to punish the little ghost. Severely, the small ghost is clearly terrified now. It quickly flees the woman's body. Kai has completed another mission. Collecting his payment in a red envelope, he leaves the apartment with his childhood best friend, Leo. In the stairwell, Kai, born with yin-yang eyes granting him sight into the spirit world, sees the little girl ghost from before. She glares at Kai, fearful yet malevolent, and standing beside her is a towering, 8-foot-tall, long-faced demon emanating dark energy. This, evidently, is the father the little ghost mentioned. Kai's special eyes don't just see ghosts. They can glimpse fragments of their past. As he locks eyes with the demon, Kai sees a vision of a burning room inside. A woman engulfed in flames screams horrifically. A man holding a girl trapped in the devastating scene. Surprisingly, the long-faced demon doesn't immediately retaliate against Kai. It vanishes instantly, taking the little ghost with it. But the tragic scene Kai witnessed leaves his mind unsettled, unable to find peace. Enough about ghosts for a moment. Let's turn back to the world of the living. Nina is an inquisitive news reporter. She stumbles upon the video Leo uploaded online, showing Kai exorcising the little ghost, and becomes intensely interested. She immediately contacts Leo, hoping to interview the mysterious exorcist, Kai. Leo is a somewhat flamboyant rich kid. Simply because he grew up with Kai, wealthy, then with time on his hands, he naturally tags along with Kai, dealing with these strange affairs between the living and the dead. Leo arranges for Nina and Kai to meet at a restaurant, but Kai directly refuses Nina's interview request. He believes firmly that humans and ghosts walk different paths, worlds that shouldn't casually interfere with each other, just as Kai mutters a warning to a nearby mischievous ghost, telling it to behave. Nina dismisses Kai's actions as mere theatrics, vowing to capture proof of ghost herself. Instantly, the ghost reaches out with a pale hand, silently creeping onto Nina's cheek, giving her a stark warning. Although terrified, Nina is also incredibly thrilled. After all, experiencing the supernatural firsthand is definitely a huge news story. Later that night, Kai returns to his solitary home. The apartment always seems dim and somewhat dilapidated, the floor often damp as if someone wet had just walked through. And Kai habitually talks and laughs towards an empty sofa nearby, as if he weren't the only occupant. The next day, Nina, unwilling to give up, decides to try interviewing Kai again. She contacts Leo once more. Leo tells Nina, since she's so interested in ghosts, he can take her to another master to see some real spirits. Subsequently, Leo brings Nina to a spirit medium, Madame Rose. This Madame Rose is in the same line of work as Kai. One invites spirits, the other expels them. They usually keep out of each other's way to test her authenticity. Nina casually mentions the name of a girl who died tragically in a car accident she read about in the newspaper. Claiming it was her deceased sister, Madame Rose begins the ritual. Rhythmically dipping her fingers into a bowl of rice before her, she chants strange incantations. Preparing to channel the spirit, suddenly, the summoned female ghost violently possesses Madame Rose's body, forcibly brought back to the world of the living. The ghost is extremely distressed, immediately losing control. Then, it leaves Madame Rose and possesses Nina, who is sitting at the same table. Nina, now possessed, walks like a zombie, weeping uncontrollably towards a nearby gas station. She grabs a fuel nozzle, intending to force it into her mouth and end her life. In the nick of time, Kai arrives swiftly, looking into Nina's eyes. Kai sees the possessing ghost past. It turns out this woman was raped by a charlatan pretending to be a master exorcist. She fought back fiercely and escaped, only to tragically run into the street and be hit by a car. Kai uses a stun device to temporarily calm the enraged ghost. He then solemnly promises the ghost he will find her attacker and avenge her. A promise made to a spirit must be kept. Kai and Leo, along with some associates, quickly track down the fake master who assaulted the woman. The vile predator is caught in the act, still using the pretense of a consecration ritual to molest another unsuspecting girl. He's promptly given a harsh beating by Kai's group, and following the ghost's guidance, Kai finds her personal phone, which she dropped at the attacker's place before she died. The video on the phone contains the evidence of the fake master assaulting other victims. Kai immediately calls the police. Truly, karma catches up to everyone. After resolving the matter, Kai and Leo visit the still shaken Nina in the hospital. Kai once again sternly advises Nina against casually probing the world of ghosts. Meanwhile, Nina, having survived this terrifying ordeal, seems to develop feelings for the mysterious, white-haired man before her. Driven by a curiosity to uncover Kai's secrets, the following evening, Nina secretly goes to Kai's apartment building. Strangely, she finds Kai's apartment door slowly creaking open on its own. She cautiously steps inside. First, a basketball suddenly drops from above into her hands. Next, she sees the head of the woman in a photograph on the wall eerily turned towards her. Suddenly, a blurry apparition flashes before her, causing Nina to break down completely in terror. She runs out screaming, utterly terrified. That evening, Kai returns home. A female ghost, perpetually drenched in dripping water, informs Kai about Nina's secret visit earlier. Kai silently stands by the rainy window, looking out, lost in deep memories. This ghost's name is Snowy. It turns out, 60 years ago, a young Snowy fell in love with a married man and became pregnant with his child. Inevitably, the affair was discovered by the man's wealthy and powerful wife. Soon, the wife arrived at Snowy's door with helpers. Snowy was forced to drink an abortifacient potion, and her abdomen was brutally beaten. After enduring repeated humiliation, a despairing Snowy chose to end her short, tragic life by slitting her wrist in the bathtub. But what Snowy didn't know was the law of reincarnation. Only those who die of natural causes at the end of their destined lifespan can move on smoothly. Those who die by suicide or unnatural means remain as ghosts, lingering in the mortal world until their original destined lifespan ends. Only then can they reincarnate. Thus, Snowy's spirit remained trapped in this apartment, wandering day after day until many years later, a young Kai and his mother moved in. Little Kai, naturally born with yin-yang eyes, could see Snowy in the apartment. He even innocently told Snowy as a child not to keep making the floor wet, and so, the single-parent Kai and his mother lived on in this house filled with history. Even earlier, during Kai's childhood, his family faced sudden hardship and poverty. As far back as he could remember, it was just his mother struggling to raise him alone. In his memory, his mother never smiled. She often vented her resentment towards her husband, perhaps Kai's father, onto young Kai. One day, a man reviewing their application for social assistance followed his mother home, but upon turning around, his mother was horrified to see the man molesting little Kai. The man, fearing exposure, threatened Kai's mother if she dared call the police, he would cut off the financial aid they depended on. Kai's already stressed mother couldn't bear the immense pressure and hopelessness of life any longer. In desperation, she grabbed little Kai and rushed to the window, intending to jump. At the critical moment, the kind-hearted Snowy, who had been watching, intervened and saved both mother and son. However, Kai's heartbroken mother still cruelly abandoned him, leaping out the window alone. From then on, Kai was utterly alone, an orphan. Fortunately, in this house full of memories, Snowy's spirit remained, silently accompanying him from childhood to adolescence. Then to adulthood, their relationship was like that of a mother and son leaning on each other, like close friends who shared everything, even hinting at an unspoken bond akin to lovers. But for decades, this deep affection remained an unspoken understanding between them. They kept it buried deep inside, never truly expressing it. The flashback ends abruptly, because Snowy now tells Kai that in a few days, her time is up. She can finally reincarnate and move on. Kai is visibly stunned for a moment, though he tries to appear indifferent. But decades of companionship flood his face with undeniable sadness and profound reluctance to let go. Around this time, news breaks about a so-called Feng Shui master found dead in a sauna pool. His body was covered in blisters, and he seemed to have died from bizarre spontaneous combustion. Kai and Leo bring their crew to investigate the scene. Suddenly, one of their younger associates starts acting strangely, putting his hand into his own mouth. Kai instantly knows something is wrong, realizing the associate is possessed by a powerful ghost. He quickly orders the possessed man locked into a sealed room. Then he throws in live roosters and strings of firecrackers, attempting to use these elements, believed to possess strong positive yang energy, against the possessing entity. As expected, thick black smoke billows out from the room, unexpectedly. The malevolent spirit materializing from the smoke is none other than the long-faced demon Kai, encountered earlier by the stairs. The one with the little girl ghost. Kai stands fearless, demanding to know why it took the master's life. The demon claims these so-called masters were frauds, offering no real help in finding who murdered its family. It threatens Kai, demanding he find the real killer and bring them to it, otherwise it will kill Kai too. After issuing the threat, the demon dissolves into black smoke and vanishes. Kai and Leo find Nina, who was previously terrified by Snowy. They hope Nina, with her journalistic skills and internet access, can help find the killer the demon spoke of. Being a professional reporter, Nina quickly uncovers clues from old archives. A news report from 1969 detailing a family of 3 burned alive inside their home catches their attention. Furthermore, the name of the police officer who investigated the case back then immediately raises Kai's suspicion. Returning home that night, Snowy tells Kai she has decided not to reincarnate after all. She wants to stay in the apartment forever, always accompanying Kai. But Kai knows this is Snowy's long-awaited chance to move on. A chance she shouldn't miss because of him. He knows he can't let her sacrifice this opportunity, so he forces himself to firmly refuse her again. Snowy, seeing she can't persuade Kai, shifts her focus, urging him to make more friends and not be so isolated. After countless attempts by Kai to awkwardly chat up the girl at the convenience store fail, prompted by Snowy, the kind Snowy seeks out Nina again. Nina is clearly still uncomfortable seeing Ghost and is startled several times by Snowy's sudden appearance. Snowy explains to Nina that she is leaving soon to reincarnate and hopes Nina, as Kai's friend, will take her place in caring for and accompanying the lonely Kai in the future. Meanwhile, as Kai rides his motorcycle home, the streetlights above begin to mysteriously extinguish one by one. The long-faced demon suddenly materializes ahead, blocking Kai's path. The demon orders Kai to go to a specific nursing home and find a retired police officer named Lau. As Kai suspected, this officer Lau is indeed the man who murdered the demon's entire family years ago. The demon issues an ultimatum. If Kai doesn't bring Lau out of the nursing home within 3 days, it will personally kill Kai. But if the demon knows where the killer is, why hasn't it taken revenge itself? Kai quickly realizes the nursing home's unique location. It's situated precisely between a police station and a fire station. These 2 places, believed to emanate the strongest positive yang or righteous energy, create a natural protective barrier around the nursing home. Even the most vicious demon cannot easily enter. Arriving at the nursing home, Kai sees Officer Lau lying in bed, unresponsive. In a vegetative state, Kai feels a pang of compassion. He decides he must find another way to appease the demon's rage. Rather than handing over a helpless, comatose man, predictably, trouble finds him on the way back. In broad daylight, the long-faced demon suddenly appears inside Kai's vehicle. It again demands Kai go back and retrieve Lau. Kai refuses steadfastly. Immediately, the demon uses its power to flip Kai's vehicle, causing a crash. Kai would rather die himself than yield to the demon's demands, but the long-faced demon then possesses Leo, who was traveling with Kai. Threatening Kai, it declares that if Lau isn't brought out, it will force Leo to jump from a building to his death. Faced with such a dangerous situation, the kind Snowy naturally doesn't want Kai to risk further harm. But Kai is determined to resolve this, refusing to back down. Left with no choice, Snowy forcibly possesses Kai's body. Controlling Kai, she runs downstairs, deliberately smashes car windows, and causes a public disturbance as intended. Kai, controlled by Snowy, is arrested and taken to the police station. Snowy hopes this will temporarily confine Kai, preventing him from confronting the demon. However, Kai's friends arrive quickly at the station and bail him out, freeing him unexpectedly soon. Meanwhile, Nina, unaware of the complexities, takes matters into her own hands. Finding another supposedly powerful master, she hopes this master can subdue the long-faced demon. Unfortunately, despite the master's elaborate rituals and confident performance, his skills are insufficient. Things go wrong, and he likely ends up harmed by the demon. Kai receives a frantic distress call from Nina and rushes to the scene. He finds a terrified Nina huddled on the ground, shaking uncontrollably. Following the traces of dark energy, Kai quickly locates the master, now possessed by the long-faced demon. The 2 immediately engage in a fierce struggle. It's clear that against the demon's possessed strength, Kai is physically outmatched in direct combat. Finally, Kai manages to force salt believed to repel evil spirits into the possessed master's mouth, barely managing to drive the demon away. After surviving several dangerous encounters, Kai feels the situation escalating towards extreme peril. He rushes home immediately and makes a drastic decision. He induces suffocation upon himself. forcing his soul out of his body to enter the underworld. He intends to find the long-faced demon's deceased wife in the spirit realm, hoping she can persuade the demon to let go of its vengeance. However, for a living soul whose time isn't up to enter the underworld is inherently perilous, potentially a one-way trip. The numerous malevolent spirits in the underworld, upon seeing a soul from the living realm, naturally attack like hungry wolves swarming Kai. To complete his mission, Kai and Snowy decide to split up. Snowy searches alone for the demon's wife, while Kai distracts and fights off the hordes of hostile spirits among them. A powerful demon even morphs into the image of Kai's deceased mother, attempting to deceive him with false affection, but Kai ultimately sees through the illusion, a fake memory of his mother smiling, something she never did in his recollection. Just as the great demon lunges at him in a critical moment, Snowy successfully finds the ghost of the demon's wife, and Kai, hearing Nina's continuous calls from the living world, narrowly escapes back into his body. Awakened, Kai, Leo, Nina, and Snowy rush to confront the long-faced demon, and Kai, having spoken with the demon's wife, now knows the complete truth behind the tragedy years ago. It turns out, the long-faced demon, in life, was involved in drug trafficking heroin within the notorious Kowloon walled city. And Officer Lau was a corrupt cop, not only extorting protection money, but also deeply despising the man, subjecting him to constant humiliation. Enraged and seeking revenge, the man sent his underlings to kill Lau Lau, lucky to survive the attempt. Curiously retaliated by storming the man's home. During their struggle, Lau accidentally knocked burning charcoal onto the man's wife. She was instantly engulfed in flames. Lau, terrified by the horrific scene, tried unsuccessfully to put out the fire. Then, as the man prepared to escape with his young daughter, the ruthless Lau locked the father and daughter inside the burning house. He watched them burn alive, and the man, in his dying moments, swore a terrible oath to return as a demon, and not rest until Lau was dead. Having witnessed too much death and suffering, Kai bluntly tells the demon that it was, in fact, his own actions that led to his family's demise. If he hadn't chosen a life of crime, if he hadn't tried to kill the corrupt cop Lau, his wife and daughter might not have suffered such a horrific fate. But the demon's obsession is too strong, its resentment overwhelming. It refuses to listen to Kai's reasoning. Left with no choice, Snowy gently leads the ghost of the demon's wife and daughter out. From the shadows, the family is finally, briefly, reunited in the afterlife after decades apart. The wife pleads with her husband to let go of revenge and move on, but the demon remains stubbornly fixated on vengeance. Just as the long-faced demon is about to erupt in fury again, his wife suddenly lunges forward, ferociously tearing into him. She rips the powerful demon apart, shredding it into pieces. She explains her actions were to prevent him from causing more harm and falling deeper into darkness. More importantly, she hopes to finally take their daughter and enter the cycle of reincarnation. And so, the saga of intertwined fates, crossing life and death, filled with grievances and sorrow, ends bleakly. The day after, Kai sees Nina visiting him at home. Today is Snowy's final day before she must reincarnate. Nina, wanting to help Kai and Snowy fulfill their last wish, willingly allows Snowy to possess her body temporarily. For the first time, Snowy can exist as a normal person. Truly together with Kai, like real lovers, they stroll through the streets, ride a bicycle together feeling the wind, play arcade games together, visit an amusement park, and in the early morning light by the seaside the next day, they hold each other tightly, cherishing the final moments of warmth. But beautiful moments are always fleeting. As the sun rises higher, the time comes after this brief mortal date. Snowy finally departs from Nina's body, fading away. Kai, seemingly driven mad by grief, rushes Nina back home. He wants to force his soul out again, one last time, to see Snowy in the underworld. Finally, on the desolate, lonely path to the afterlife, Kai catches up to Snowy just as she's about to step towards reincarnation, and he finally speaks the words hidden in his heart for decades.
The stupidest question you ever asked was whether I liked you. How can I just like you? Because I love you.
One with white hair, weathered by life and loss. The other forever young with black hair, a spirit, regrettably. This connection ends with the living sending off the departed soul, separated by the veil between worlds. It was Snowy who taught Kai that sometimes compromise or seeming insincerity isn't weakness, but a way to persuade, to dissolve hatred in the heart. It was Snowy who taught Kai much about ghosts, that they fear salt, electricity, firecrackers, and the yang energy of roosters. It was Snowy who constantly urged Kai not to hide his true self, even though his tattoos couldn't cover the scars left by his journeys through the spirit world. And it was Snowy who used her own time she should have spent in reincarnation, to save Kai's life when he should have died years ago. But through all these years while doing good deeds, Kai's greatest wish was always for Snowy to be free from her bonds and reincarnate peacefully, finding true rest. Thinking of this, standing on the edge of the rooftop, Kai silently, slowly unclenches his fist. He gives up the thought of following Snowy into death. A faint, bittersweet smile appearing on his face instead, but as he turns, he sees a man in black holding a black umbrella standing nearby. This man is the eyeless, hollow-faced friend, brother figure of Snowy, the umbrella man whose identity was never fully revealed. The story ends abruptly here. End of analysis. Some viewers interpret the umbrella man as a figure like death, ready to collect Kai's soul if he had jumped. Others suggest he might represent Kai's father, the lack of eyes symbolizing Kai inheriting his father's yin-yang sight. The ultimate meaning remains ambiguous, open to interpretation. As a 2015 film, Keeper of Darkness is acclaimed actor Nick Cheung's second directorial effort. Compared to his first film, Hungry Ghost Ritual, this one boasts grander special effects, a deeper script, and a more star-studded cast. The film is a distinctive example of the Hong Kong ghost movie genre, containing traditional themes of karma, retribution, and the cycle of good and evil. Beneath the horror lies touching warmth, and within the warmth lies food for thought. Nick Cheung's portrayal of Kai feels like that of a witness, observing the myriad struggles, joys, and sorrows of ordinary people caught in the changing tides of Hong Kong society. Using ghosts to tell stories about the living, using supernatural events to speak of cause and effect. Okay. Beyond the gripping plot, let's really unpack what makes Keeper of Darkness tick as a film, shall we? As director, Nick Cheung showcases a real knack for blending genres here, doesn't he? It's not just a horror flick. It skillfully weaves in threads of action, comedy, and surprisingly deep emotional drama. This kind of genre mashing is classic Hong Kong cinema flair, but here it feels quite natural, not forced. Now, let's talk cultural context and symbolism, because this film is steeped in local Hong Kong beliefs. First, that title term, Tada. It's pure Cantonese, referring to a local ghost or territorial spirit, entities believed to hold sway over specific places. A concept deeply woven into Hong Kong's urban folklore. Did you catch how the film casually lays out rules for the supernatural? Like the yin-yang eyes allowing Kai to see spirits, or the idea that suicide prevents immediate reincarnation. These reflect common Chinese views on life, death, and the afterlife. In Kai's tattoos. In Hong Kong culture, tattoos often carry associations with the underworld or warding off evil. They act as his camouflage, but also hint at his marginal status. Then there's Snowy's tragic story, a poignant reflection of the helplessness and sacrifices of women in older patriarchal societies and relationships. Even the misuse of the consecration ritual by the fake master touches on how genuine folk beliefs can be twisted for evil ends. It's these layers that give the film its unique texture, don't you think? Thinking about directing style and visual language, Nick Cheung really focuses on atmosphere. Notice how often scenes are set in dim, damp, almost claustrophobic spaces like Kai's apartment or old buildings. It instantly creates that unsettling feeling. When ghosts appear, the camera often gets shaky, handheld, pulling you into the chaos, or uses Kai's specific point of view to show us what his ghost-seeing eyes perceive. The black smoke effect for the long-faced demon might seem simple, but visually, it effectively conveys its powerful resentment, doesn't it? And the colors. Lots of cool blues and greens ramp up the eerie mood, contrasted sharply with warmer tones during Kai and Snowy's moments, really highlighting that emotional core amidst the darkness. And the sound design and emotional resonance, it's more than just jump scares, right? The film cleverly uses ambient sounds, subtle noises like Snowy's dripping water to signal a ghostly presence, building psychological tension. The score, too, beautifully shifts between horror and heartfelt moments, but the real heartbreaker, the element that truly elevates this beyond a simple ghost story, is that decades-long bond between Kai and Snowy, spanning life and death. You really feel for Kai, this tough-looking guy with a core of loneliness, and you mourn Snowy's kindness and sacrifice. This powerful human-ghost connection allows the film's deeper themes of obsession, letting go, redemption, and love to truly resonate. It aims not just to scare you, but genuinely to move you. Did it succeed for you? Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Drami. See you in the next video. Bye.